Hello and welcome back to another episode of Coffee with Carl, number 82. In today's episode, we're going to talk about a new Filson product that I think is really good. We're going to talk about Wonderlooper's new drool-worthy kind of jacket thing. And I want to talk a little bit about what I'm wearing right here. So it's going to be a little bit light on the product stuff this time. So if that's what you usually tune in for, that's what you have coming at you. But this week, it's been a hectic one. I went into the city, New York City, that is. Connecticut has cities, but they all kind of suck. I gotta be honest with you. Even like the one that everybody points to as like, a good one, which is New Haven, it's not that good, And if you live here, you know what I'm talking about. But New York City has always been one of my favorite places to visit. I could never live there, but I really do enjoy taking the train and going and checking it out. It's only a couple hours from me, so it's perfect for a day trip. And I used to go there regularly. I mean, I would go there like almost every month. And part of that was because I had friends who had businesses there and I would go and visit them. And then, when COVID happened, a lot of that just sort of stopped. And it's a shame because, the city is definitely an interesting place. And I think it's sort of one of those places that is what you make it, right? If you go there looking for opportunity and inspiration, you could find it everywhere. If you go there looking for the people who are homeless, sleeping in, the store entrances and little corridors and stuff like that, and capitalism at its worst, you could find it there as well. So I think it just depends on what you go out there looking for. And it's sort of like that saying, right? When you're a hammer, everything looks like a nail. I find that to be just proven true more often than ever before. Like, I have people who I'm sure you do too, people who I know where it's like, they just can't get out of their own way. Everything they see is the negative and they just wallow in it and they just dwell in it. It's like, it's not helping them at all. And you really can't pull them out of there. It's one of those situations where you have to, so hopefully show them how to get out and they can walk there themselves. But I have a lot of people who I know who swear the world is against them. And they're always like, why is it that I can't do this or I can't do that? And it's like, dude, it's because you're doing it to yourself. And it doesn't matter if you say that to them. Believe me, I've tried. They don't get that. They don't understand. Like it doesn't compute. They don't understand that they're doing it to themselves and they are the reason for their unhappiness or their lack of success. And there's a reason that like people who are successful or happy or at peace usually have this, they do it very easily, right? Because they have this method of operating, which just makes them feel like, it's hard to explain. It's sort of one of those things like, it's like whatever you put out into the world, you get back, or fake it till you make it, right? The whole idea of like a mindset, literally being able to determine what your future is going to be like. All of those things are true in one way or another. It doesn't matter how woo-woo you get about it. I think about this right here. Whenever I do this, I was watching my first video I ever made the other day. And I just sometimes will revisit it. There's a reason I keep it up there. I just want to see how far I've come. And I look at it and how stiff I was and how just rigid and not comfortable in front of the camera at all. I spoke lower, slower. You could tell I was terrified. And I mean, it sounds so silly, right? I mean, you're in a room by yourself. At that time, I was in a spare bedroom of ours. We didn't have kids yet. Or did we have kids? I don't know. Maybe we had one. I don't know either. No, I don't think we had kids yet. And I was up there. It was just me and a camera, but I was absolutely terrified. And I remember looking at that camera for so long. And like, you don't know how many times I went up there, stared at the camera. It's rolling. And I didn't say anything. I was just like paralyzed with fear. And I'm not usually that afraid to talk. I speak in front of people. I've addressed, at work, crews of guys. I don't really have an issue speaking up in meetings. But because this was going out to the world, albeit a small group of people, I had 0 subscribers at the time, I was scared. And so it was just a terrifying thing. Now, hundreds and hundreds of videos later, I feel very at ease. I mean, I can sit here and I talk to the lens. There's nobody else up here. It's just me, a bunch of clothes and boots, and you. And it's part of it was sort of faking it. Feeling like I could be a compelling and effective communicator. a lot of that also is just getting in the reps, right? Keep coming up, keep doing it. I mean, look at, we're on 82 of this channel, and I haven't done, I haven't done any preparation or anything like that. I mean, it's just, I guess what I'm trying to say is there is something about the mindset that dictates your future. And not just in this, I'm using this as a small example, but on a larger scale, how happy you are in life. I know people who, they have a lot of reasons to be miserable, and they aren't. Like, they're just happy people, and things go wrong for them. They're not making a ton of money, but they're happy with what they have. They're content. I find that way more admirable than somebody who has a ton of money in the bank and they're miserable. Or worse, people who have a ton of money in the bank and they're a pain in the ass. I know a lot of people who I just can't stand, who are very, very well off. And I don't think it has to be that way, but I would choose living a life of peace and happiness. And boy, it's like a freaking hippie. But you know what I'm saying? Like being at peace and being happy with what you have and grateful, and have, a lower bank account balance versus having a whole bunch of money in the bank and being just miserable and making everybody around me miserable. And believe me, some of the unhappiest people that I've ever met, they're very wealthy. It's a strange thing. So anyway, that's a tangent. I didn't realize this was going to go there, but here we are. And before we get into the products, I did want to mention one thing, which is I am humbled and honored every time I look at that comment section and I see just the kindness and how cool people are down there. And, it makes me realize, I've said this before, but it's like every time I look down at the comments of this channel, it restores my faith in humanity. You should see the stuff that on the main channel I have to either look at or delete or whatever. I've kind of gotten to the point now where if it's in the hidden comment section, I just leave it because it'll automatically delete it after a while. And usually it'll flag things that are inappropriate, or it's getting better at picking out what comments are mean-spirited or just meant to do harm to somebody, usually me, and just holding those. And so just for my own mental health, I've started to not even check. If it's holding those, I know it's going to delete some comments that don't deserve to be in there, but to me, it's worth the it's hard to describe what it's like being in the public eye, I guess, as much as this is, and have people pick out every insecurity you have and try to make you feel bad about it. Now, in the world of reality, back in the day, I was never bullied as a kid. I was never the bully either. Matter of fact, I was the kid who tried to kind of help the kids who were being bullied. I remember one time this poor kid, I remember his name, I know what he looks like. I hope he's doing well. I remember he was being shoved up against lockers. I mean, how much more cliche could you be, right? These two kids who were pushing up against lockers, and I went over and kind of broke it up or whatever. And I remember thinking, I don't know why I had like in my head like this like heroic moment where he would like thank me and like whatever, but he didn't. He just kind of looked at me and like ran away because he was embarrassed, I guess, So like that's the way it was. So I guess the reason I'm trying to tell you that is that I don't really find that that stuff doesn't usually affect me. And so, like the way I see it too, like if somebody's gonna make a comment about my appearance, look, if my doctor or my wife are happy with the way this is all working out right here, that's all I care about. You know what I mean? So it's like, those are the people that I care about. If somebody has something to say about anything else, I really don't care. But, in reality, in real life, those people would never say that kind of thing to your face. They wouldn't. But because you can hide behind the veil of the internet, you can say whatever you want, and they do. So anyway, I've been putting that stuff on the I'm just letting it sit and letting it auto delete. I seem to be a little bit happier for it. But I did get a chance to meet some of you on Thursday, which at Thursday, oddly enough, in New York City. And I think I began telling you about this, and then I went way off on a tangent, so I apologize for that. But it was great. It really was great. And I remember telling you guys about how I was like, I'm not going to do a 10th anniversary thing or whatever. But when I do stuff like this, I start going, nah, man, like maybe it would be cool because I met a bunch of people I've never met before, and everybody was so cool, so chill. Just everybody was there to like really just chat about the stuff that we like. You could walk into a little group of people who were talking about whatever. They would welcome you in and include you in the conversation. It was just, and then there weren't like a ton of people there. I don't know. I mean, what the head count, maybe 20, maybe 25, something like that. You know, it was a store thing, right? So yeah, I mean, it was a lot of fun. I just met a lot of really cool people, a lot of older people, which was cool. Like, I don't know why I always think, well, because I look at the demographics, I'm like, okay, they say that my core is like this 20 to 40-year-old. And I always think I'm the oldest person, you know, in this conversation. But there were some older people there who watch my channel, and I was so humbled. It was just a great thing to be able to talk face to face on a human to human level. This is great, but it's missing the other side of it. And it was a great experience. I really, really enjoyed it. And I thank Thursday for putting it together. They did a great job. We were hosted by the Thursday Soho store, and they had drinks and, you know, little snacks for people. Afterwards, we went to a couple of different bars. And it was a wonderful time. It really was. So I thank everybody who came out to that. I know it's weird. It's like a weekday and it's, you know, but that's Thursday's thing. And so if you did come out to that, thank you. It was great to meet you. For those of you who would have liked to come, maybe we'll do something in the future like this. Maybe what we'll do is something as simple as when I go to an area for work of some sort, I'll let everybody know, like, hey, I'm going to be in, you know, Nashville, and, you know, Friday night, I'm going to go to this bar. And if you want to meet up, that's where I'll be, and we'll hang out, or what, you know what I mean? Something like that. Maybe impromptu little hangs would be a lot more fun. So I think that may be what I'll do in the future, because it was just so great to see people face to face. This is good. And I love it. I love this. I love the comments, the support, and it's just awesome. But meeting somebody face to face and having a conversation is just so cool. So, you know, it's neat too, because, you know, I got to see people who have bought things that maybe I've recommended, or maybe they heard about first and then checked it out on their own or whatever. And like see that they're happy with it or whatever. Like there was one guy there who had a Tin Duck denim shirt that he had just gotten. And I was like, oh man, I've never seen that before. It has like these two vertical chest pockets and he loves it. And another guy's wearing some weather wool and Filson. And there were three field leathers jackets in the group there, which was crazy. I mean, three. I'm not even sure I've ever seen 3 field leathers jackets in person, but it was just like that. So as you can tell, I'm pretty excited about it, and I was really, it gave me a lot of fuel for the fire. Again, which is why I think I got to do that kind of thing more often. When you get to connect with people, it makes a huge difference. So let's get on to the products, but I just wanted to say that and thank you very much for that. And hopefully even those of you who wanted to be there in spirit, maybe we'll get to do something soon. I hope so. Okay, Filson. Now, I always give them a hard time, and I think it's justified. We all know, I don't want to rehash the same thing every single time. But when they do come out with something that looks good, I want to mention it, because I really want to call balls and strikes, and I want to make sure that when credit is due, that I encourage it. Not that they give a damn what I think, but anyway, they came out with one product that I thought was really good. This is the Filson waxed down jacket. Now, I don't think this is a new product. It may just be available in this new camouflage. And if it is an older product, I'm sorry, but this here is a down-filled waxed jacket for $429. That's a lot of value, in my opinion, okay? So, I mean, you can find waxed jackets with no lining that are $400 and, you know, some odd dollars. This, on the other hand, though, has a lot going for it. So let's talk about some of the details, because at first I looked at it, I was a little skeptical. But then as I dug a little bit deeper, I was like, ooh, all right. So this is made out of 6.5 ounce waxed 100% cotton shell material, which is a little bit lighter for sure. But I think the reason they had to do that is because of the baffling. If you look at it, the way they had to stitch the down insulation in there, they probably couldn't get away with anything much heavier without it really puckering or looking strange. So I wouldn't really hold them, you know, to blame for that, right? This is an 80-20 duck down, 87% wool, 12% nylon, 1% elastine, you know, so you have a lot of kind of typical stuff in there, but you do have wool, you do have duck down, and in the camouflage especially, I think it looks really good. Now, I like camo, you know, I mean, I think it could be overdone, so you got to be careful. You don't want to have too much camo in the rotation. Otherwise, you'll at best look like you're about to go hunting. At worst, you'll look like a mismatched maniac. And in that case, I would suggest going with the color Night Sky, which is a good looking jacket as well. It's nice because this is a good alternative, a heritagey alternative to the technical down puffer jackets that you have everywhere. I have one right over here. I'm looking at it right now. And it's cool, but it's all swishy and it's nylon and it, you know, whatever. It's cool, but this is way cooler. So $430 is not cheap. But if I was gonna go with a really warm kind of jacket, like they're hard to find. It's hard to find a wax jacket that's really, really warm. Now we did the Mouton Workhorse, of course, super duper warm. It was also $1,000. This is a lot less and has a hood. So this is a good one. And I think Filson did a good job with this. Has 0 reviews. So if you get one of these, let me know how it is, because I'm very, very curious. Okay, Wonder Looper, a company run by one of the nicest people I've ever met, Bezod. What a good dude. I'll sing his praises until they tell me to stop. Really, just a genuinely nice guy. If you ever have a chance to meet him, I suggest it. And you can always tune into his live streams. You know, he and his wife do those regularly and they look really good. But there is a product here. Now, I want to start off by saying their stuff's expensive. Like, enough so that you'll go, whoa, what? But I'll tell you this much. I have their sweatpants, right? And now you know I hate sweatpants. Hate them. Hate the name. Hate everything about them. But for lounging around, there's few things that are as good as sweatpants, okay? So, but I got these, and they're the only sweatpants that I'll wear. They really are. First of all, they are nice enough and structured enough. If you wanted to wear them out, you could. They are heavy. I think they're like 21 ounce, so like they feel like they're about bomb proof. And this is what I put on when I get up on the weekends. Matter of fact, I'm wearing them right now. I am. I mean, I could show them to you. But do you really want to see my sweatpants? I don't think you do. They are worth every penny. Awesome. And they look cooler as you wear them. All the good things that come with, you know, heritage stuff, right? Well, this is another product. And it's been a little while since I've seen a Wonder Looper product where I'm like, ooh, I gotta have that. They came out with their cashmere hoodie a little while ago, which, again, look, it's not gonna be for everybody, okay? We went over that. But if you're looking for, like, the best hoodie in the whole world, that was gonna be it. But this one here, it's, again, it got my interest. Let me tell you a little bit more about it. So this is the Wonder Looper Zip Hoodie Real Indigo Blanket Striped French Terry. Kind of like Carhartt, they're telling you everything you need to know about it in the title there. This is $612, okay? So $600. It's not cheap, but it's not cheap because it's not cheap. There's a lot of stuff in this that is, I mean, if you were gonna have a hoodie, no others, this would be okay. So here it says, the Wonder Looper Zip Hoodie in Real Indigo Blanket Striped French Terry is made from 563 grams of heavyweight, grams per square meter, I think that is. Heavyweight knit, crafted in Japan using real indigo dyed yarns that fade and evolve like raw denim. The interior features a bold striped blanket pattern with colorful neps, adding vintage character. Designed with a modern athletic fit, it includes raglan sleeves, ribbed panels, a heavy-duty Waldez zipper, a hood that blends heritage, hoodie that blends heritage and inspiration with lasting quality. All right, so what is it? It's a super neppy, super full of character, two-way zipper, lined in a blanket stripe hoodie. The coolest hoodie you'll probably ever wear. I love American Giant. A little teaser. We're gonna talk about this later. I love, all those very interesting hoodies and stuff, but this takes the cake. In my opinion, this is the hoodie to have. I mean, it better be for that price, right? I mean, like, holy crap. And a lot of people tune out right there. They go, oh my God, a $600 hoodie? Yeah, no way, thanks. I'll get a $50 one. And I get it. You don't have to get this. We're really talking about like is a vintage Aston Martin more your thing? Or maybe you want to get like a Porsche Speedster, right? Like you're talking about a thing in a different, this is several levels up. So if you're out of it, I get it. I totally get it. That's a lot of money. But I think there's nothing else out there like it. And good on them. I love the fact that they do that. The world is full of plastic hoodies, stuff that's made out of these recycled, whatever, junk you could get anywhere. Very rarely do you see something that's made like this that has this much character. This is one of those things where, you put it on, you have it for a while, the thing starts to fade and look incredible. Somebody will ask you, where did you get that? And then you'll say, well, a few years ago, Wonder Looper had it, and it may be one of those things that somebody else just can't get out of their mind. You never know. That's great. Congratulations, Wonder Looper, on another awesome product. Their stuff is the best when it comes to the kind of knit fabric type of thing. Sweatshirts, hoodies, sweatpants, that kind of stuff. Nobody's doing it better. You can't convince me otherwise. This is just spectacular. Bezod, you're the man. All right, let's bring it way back here, okay? So we talked about a $600 thing. We talked about a $400 jacket. Let's talk about something that's more in the realm of affordability for most people. I found that it seems like with most things, tools, clothing, even camera equipment and stuff like that, that the high-end stuff is nice, but you're paying a premium for being the cutting-edge stuff. In my opinion, the middle tier is where I want to be. I don't want to be down here. This stuff is junk. But I want to be here where the stuff is quality, but maybe it lacks some of the features, the fancy stuff that you don't get, and I think that's where most people live. I'm willing to pay a little bit more for quality, but I don't want to feel like I got ripped off or like I have to miss a mortgage payment, right? Well, American Giant's always been good like that. This that I have on right here, this is the men's fleece bomber jacket. Now, don't go thinking that this thing is going to take the place of, the thing that you put on to battle the elements. It's a sweatshirt. Okay. This is really, that's what this is. This is like the same kind of material and actually a lot of the same layout. See how they have the double back of the arm here? The same layout as their hoodies, the American Giant hoodies. Again, middle of the pack stuff, it's the one that I wear the most. Now, I'd love to have that Wonder Looper one, but the American Giant one is very nice. And so they tend to be where I like to settle, where I get this kind of stuff. Now, $168, it's not cheap. In jacket world, that's pretty affordable. In sweatshirt world, But I wanted, just again, to point that out, because if you think that you're getting a varsity jacket here with any other type of insulation, you're not. You're getting, this is online, so this is what you get. The fleece kind of brushed lining on the inside, the harder face on the outside, but with a zipper, with a campus collar. And campus collar, I think this is called. Is that called a campus collar? I think it is. But anyway, if it's not, you know what the hell I'm talking about. And then the cuffs. This is a sweatshirt. It's just a nice looking sweatshirt, and that's why I got it. And I like it a lot. There are 3 colors in this thing. 2 of them. Now, I had a hard time deciding whether I was going to go with what I have on here, which is Marine Navy. You can tell it's like a lighter, kind of medium blue. I have a lot of blues. I like those a lot. They also have one which is called Russet Brown and Black, and that takes the rib knit sections, the collar, the cuffs, and along the hem, and it puts those in black. That's a really cool look as well. Again, if you kind of wanted to play up more of the jackety part of it, right? And then that comes in a standard black. You can get it in black as well. Now, this is just super comfortable. Doesn't look like a hoodie. It's a nice kind of little bit more dressed up way to wear something that's extremely comfortable. Look, I just got up a little while ago. I'm lounging around. I threw this on and I'm very comfortable. So let's read a little bit about the details here. This is 100% cotton fleece, 12.5 ounce rib collar, cuffs and waistband, metal zipper with antique brass finish, and center front kangaroo pockets. Now, I've always liked this kind of style better than a pullover, personally. I like to be able to throw it on and zip it up. I also like the fact that you can open it up and sort of air, will get at you and cool you off a little bit. So it has a little bit more versatility. And also, you're not showing your belly when you're taking the thing off. You know what I mean? There's no nice way to take them off unless you tuck your shirt in first. But anyway, that's a whole other topic for another time. And this is just I don't know. I don't see a whole lot of these around. And I thought it was cool. And I've been enjoying it, so I wanted to let you know about it. But $168, it's not cheap, but it's pretty damn nice. So, that's new. You guys want to know one of the things I bought my wife for Christmas? Of course you do. Well, this is the Carhartt Women's Loose Fit Fleece Pullover. And it just came out in 2 new colorways, again, from Bethany Yellowtail, who's an indigenous artist. And she's the one who did the design on the Montana jacket. And she's done a few other things with Carhartt. And this is a really cool look. Personally, I love it. And now I got this for my wife because I bought her one last year. She loved it. She's like, it's almost a little too warm, but she goes, I'll wear this thing in place of a jacket and it's just fine. And I got it because I had heard that several other people loved them. So I got it and I'm like, why don't they make this in men's? This fleece is so pillowy soft that I'm like, I want it. I want this. And listen, if you see me wearing a women's fleece on this channel, I ask you to suspend all judgment, because the women's fleece is way nicer than the men's fleece. The one that I got her last year, again, she said it's almost too warm in a lot of occasions. And I could see that here. It's a 3 on their warmth rating, which goes from 1 to 4. So this has already got a 3 on its own. This is really a great mid layer, you know? And, you know, if I were to get this in like, you know, the olive or something like that, I'm not really sure what makes it a women's fleece, but why can't I get it? I mean, I might. Like I said, I might get this. And there's nothing on there that says women's, so nobody's going to know. You won't tell anybody, right? Well, anyway, so there are 2 different Bethany Yellowtail designs here. One is a blue, kind of blue and white. The other one is, they call it Mountain Print Dark Sepia, which is a warm colored one. I got her the blue one. I actually like the warm colored one, the way that it looks better, but I think this is actually, she would like the blue one. So I'm getting that. It's coming in. If I don't start wearing it on my own, I'll give it to her for Christmas. But that's something that just came out. I clicked the buy it now button, and it looks like it's already selling out in some sizes. So if you want this, or you wanted to give it as a gift or whatever, jump on it now, because these Bethany Yellowtail collabs, they go quick. So that's something for you. So something that I'm doing, which is similar to what we're talking about here, is I'm picking up my outfit and my costume to take the kids trick-or-treating. Now, not only trick-or-treating, because I've done that before where I just dress like this, you know what I mean? So we bring them around and whatever. But we've been doing this thing in Collinsville, Connecticut. And it's, if I can get some video of it this year, I will, because it's a really cool experience. Bunch of people go out there and they just call it the Halloween parade. It is very loosely organized into a parade, more or less. Everybody kind of shows up in costume. A lot of kids, a lot of adults, just people having fun. And then what they'll do is everybody who's dressed up walks down this circle. The police, you know, block it off, and you walk down these streets, and all these people on the side will kind of watch. I mean, I've been a spectator and I've been in it, and it's more fun to be in the parade. So I always think about stuff that I can be. I mean, the kids are going to go as what they're going to go. And rather than walking along with them like some sort of dweeb dressed like this, thinking about what I could be. This year, I'm like, I want to be Gandalf the Grey. I don't know why. I saw it somewhere, and I'm like, that would be pretty cool. So now I've been searching for things, and you should see my search history. I'm looking at, you know, cloaks. And like, you know, and so when you actually look at Gandalf the Grey, right? Gandalf from Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, J.R.R. Tolkien's famous wizard. You notice that he wears a lot of woolen fabrics, right? Even his hat is woolen. So I was able to find some of those things. If you buy like the Spirit Halloween version, it's just some sort of cheap kind of junk. I wanted something that's somewhat believable. And the reason I'm telling you this is that I ended up finding the weavers that made the material that Gandalf's famous hat is made from in New Zealand, and they still offer the hat. This is the same fabric that was used on screen, and I think it was like $200, which is more than I wanted to pay for the entire outfit, but I was able to sort of cheap out on other things. And I don't have time to grow the beard. That would take a little bit of foresight, which I just didn't have because I just decided I wanted to do this. And the hat came in yesterday, and I got to tell you, I wish it was socially acceptable to start wearing a wizard hat, because wide brim, it's warm, it looks perfect, it looks just like the screen one, and now I'm pretty jazzed to wear this thing. And after, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I could put together a Gandalf the Grey something around here. I don't know. What am I going to do with this thing when I'm done with it? I mean, I guess I could wear it next Halloween and the next Halloween, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe as I become an old man, I'm just going to start growing the beard out and slowly morphing into a wizard. We're going to go to the patrons only segment right now because this is starting to go off the rails. And if you're not a patron, maybe you want to think about it. It's $3. There are other tiers if you want to. But anyway, we're gonna talk a little bit more about that stuff now because I can tell I'm starting to ramble, and this is gonna get a little crazy. Anyway, I'll catch you next time.